Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our admins who helped us with this translation. The message reads like this: Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story? Is anonymous. I have come here on your platform because I have my own story that I want to share with you. So it was said that my grandma, she came here, but she was from Zim. So I have always been connected with some of my few relatives that are from Zim. So what I'm about to tell you is something that I never thought that I'll ever share with anyone, because this is like one of my darkest secrets. Even though I have done some shady stuff in the past, like how I got married to my husband, to everything that I did when I was still in university. But this thing that I did, I just outdid myself. But I feel like I am tired. I have slept in weeks and every night, and there is a darkness like each and every time when I am fast asleep. There are times when I just wake up. Sometimes I wake up and I will be screaming. My husband, sometimes he can even ask me the reason as to why I'll be screaming, but I always lie to my husband. I lied to my husband and I said that his mother hates me and his mother is a witch. It took me a very long time for me to be able to convince him that his mom is a witch. It all started when I was dating him, simply because I had stolen him from another woman, and I said the only way that I can keep him is if I can by one of these other men who was a prophet but from Zim. So this man, I had already done a deal with him. He came as if he was just doing a peace job. I still remember that on that day my husband was busy having his braai with one of his friends. So when that guy was busy mowing our lawn, I had already paid him. I paid him somewhere around 340 rands if I still remember, and I told him that I wanted him to lie to my husband, that since he was a prophet, he had seen some things. He had seen that my mother-in-law had been burying some charms around the yard. So this man, what he had done is that during midweek, since I do not go to work, I had brought him to the house without my husband or any of his sisters that were there ever knowing. I quickly sent one of my husband's sister to the mall to go and buy some stuff. This man was already in our neighborhood. So the name that he buried into the yard, it was a knife that had my name written on this other piece of paper and tied with a red string to that knife. Later on, when my husband was at home with his friends drinking their alcohol as well as having their braai, this man, when he finished mowing the lawn, that was when he called me, and I also informed my husband that this man, he said that he wanted to have a conversation with him. The man started and he said that as I have been working on your yard, I have seen that there is a lot of witchcraft that is going on. I knew my husband that he was someone that loves to hear a lot about witchcraft. He's always afraid of witchcraft because of some of the things that happened in the past, the way that his father passed away. And that is why I used that opportunity. And then when he started to believe in the stories, that was when the man said that here in this compound, I feel that there is a place where your mother buried some charms, but I need someone who can assist me because I think that your mother is a very powerful witch. As for now, do not tell any of your relatives that in this compound it seems as if there is something that is buried here. Then during the weekend, we were then made to call my mother-in-law. She came, she did not even know that we were about to expose her, but my husband did not know that it was nothing but a lie. She came, and my sister-in-laws and my other husband's cousins, they were there as well. Then the men started to pray and pray and pray. These people, they are very clever. Like they have this type of prayers that can make you to act out as if you are possessed by the spirit of witchcraft. That is what my mother-in-law started to do. She started screaming and screaming as if she was on fire, as if she was a witch that had been caught. I saw tears as they were flowing down my husband's face because he was heartbroken. He could not believe the things that my mother-in-law was saying. She was even confessing about some of the people that she had killed in the location where she is staying, even though the spirit that was possessing her was the spirit that was making her to lie. Then later on, that was when that man and his friend said that they were going to point out at the place where some of the charms had been buried, and my mother-in-law wanted me to die since I was pregnant. We then went to that place where me and the prophet earlier on we had buried the charm. Then he started to dig up, and then he showed everyone the charm, and I started crying and crying, and I even pretended as if I was about to have a miscarriage. You should have seen my husband, what he was like on that day. He was so scared, thinking that we were about to lose our baby. From there on, I started manipulating him until now. But Brother Nashi, because of some of the charms that I have used on him, they are now backfiring, and the people that assisted me, they can't assist me anymore. So what happens is that there is a skeleton that comes into my room, more like a tokoloshi, and this tokoloshi, it then sleeps with me. This all started after the Easter holidays, when my desperation led me down a path that I now regret a lot. So it was in April, just after Easter. My husband and I, we had been married for many years, but our relationship was no longer the same. It was like the charms that I had been given to use on him, they were now expiring, and the man from Zim who had assisted me was nowhere to be found. Me and my husband, we used to be inseparable, but lately something felt off. He was always distant, always on his phone, and coming home late. I thought that it was work stress until I discovered the truth, and my heart was broken. He was seeing his ex, the woman that I had removed from his life, whom I'll call Lebo, not her real name, the mother of his other kids. So they had rekindled things behind my back, and it was tearing me apart. That was when I confronted him. When I confronted him, we fought. Of course, we fought. I cried, and he promised to fix things, but nothing changed. Then he continued to have his affair with the woman, and I felt like I was helpless, watching my marriage as it was falling apart. That was when my maid Grace stepped in. So she is from Zim, and she has been with us for almost a year and a half, if I still remember. She is someone that is quiet and hardworking and always keeping things to herself. But one day, after seeing me break down when I was sitting in the living room, breaking down in tears, she sat right next to me and said something that would change my life forever. And she was like, "Madam, I know a way to make him love you again," she whispered. At first, I did not even believe it, but Grace swore by it, and she said that this love charm that she was about to give it, like in my language we call it korovela, a love potion. She told me that it was common practice back in her country, that many women, they use it to keep their men from straying. She offered to get it for me, and in my desperation I agreed, and I was like, what do I have to lose? 2 days later, then she told me that she wanted to return back home ASAP. So I organized some funds for her. She returned back to her country. I waited and I waited, and then when she came back, that was when she handed me a small bottle that was filled with dark, thick liquid. The smell was really strong here, and it almost smelled as if like something that had been dug up from the ground. Just a few drops in his tea, she said, and he is going to be yours again. I was hesitant at first, but I did it anyway. That night after dinner, I made my husband his usual cup of rooibos tea, adding a few drops of the korovela. I watched him drink it, hoping for a miracle, and for a while it really worked, and he was someone that I recognized now. He cancelled his plans with his ex-wife, and then, Brother Nashi, things really started happening, and then I fell pregnant again, but I had a miscarriage. So the reason as to why I had a miscarriage, I had a dream, and in that dream I saw a skeleton. This skeleton came to me. I immediately recognized it, and I saw that this was a tokoloshi. This thing is very tall, its bones pale, and it is always gleaming in the darkness. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. I was caught up in sleep paralysis. I was frozen with fear. this thing said to me, you belong to me, and it then started sleeping with me. And the manhood, it is very hard, bone hard, no flesh there. It is really painful. When I woke up, I even told my husband that the way that my uterus is painful, I don't think that our child is going to be okay. My husband assured me that everything was going to be okay, but I knew. We then lost our baby. After we had lost our baby, we have been trying ever since. Each and every night, this Tokoloshi, it comes to me and it sleeps with me, and my womb, it is very painful. Even when I am on my periods, it is really, really painful. Sometimes I have these periods whereby I'll be just producing like your dark red blood. I feel like I am trapped. I do not know what to do. As for my maid, she has since taken that bottle. She went with it back home, and then she returned back with some charms that she said, Madam, I have been given this. You can use them, bath with them. Whenever this thing comes to you, the next day you try to use it, but it is not working. This Tokoloshi, it says that it is very powerful, more powerful than the healer who gave me this Korobela. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister who helped us with this translation. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.